Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fantasy Couch podcast. We're talking about the Eagles Vikings game. What could be the stupidest rule ever, or maybe not. Maybe people will disagree. And also, we're doing buy low, sell high, trade candidates for fantasy football. I also have some pretty cool stuff from my favorite two internet doctors. And we have Mike Batal back, and we are hosting the buy low, sell high because you're here, obviously.
Nice. I love that. Yeah. It was a really exciting game. Are we doing it now? We're just going right into it?
You going to we're going into the game. We're doing Thursday night football and then buy low, sell high.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna recap the game first, right?
Whatever we want to talk about. I wanted to start off by talking about this tweet. A little bit of a debate here. Should the NFL change the touchback rule? And I quote tweeted whatever it's what is that called nowadays? Quote repost, whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
Dumbest NFL rule, change it. So I do agree that it's something, it's already there. So I agree. Okay, if the offensive player's crossing the goal line and he fumbles before he crosses the goal line and the ball goes into the end zone, it's a fumble. I agree there should be some kind of punishment. So I'm not against it. A loss of down, maybe a 10-yard penalty. Maybe they go back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe they go 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Something like that. I think it's fair. I think right now the rule is too harsh, especially, me and you are marketers. That's what we're doing now. We have a marketing company. We're going, and the NFL, what are they marketing? High points, touchdowns. It's a passing league now. Okay, you might not agree with that, but that's what it is now. People like touchdowns. America and American sports, we love high scoring games. We're not a soccer nation. This is just facts. I'm saying it's just the way it is. You don't have to love the world. You don't have to love it, but this is football. This is America. This is what we like. We like high scoring games. And to just give the ball and say a touchback, like when you say touchback, I think of a defender falling in the end zone, taking a knee in the end zone. They just call this a touchback. They give it to the opposing team on the 20. It just makes no sense. I feel like you just put like 20 ping pong balls with like weird little writings like fortune cookies, and a kid just picked one out and laughed at it and just stamped this on the wall, licked it and stamped this and said, hey, this is the rule. It makes no sense to me, and I feel like the punishment is too harsh. Am I crazy, chat? Chat, what do you think? We're live right now. And Mike, do you agree or disagree?
I agree that it's just a weird rule. And I think yeah, you're right.
Exactly. It's crazy. It's weird.
Punishes the offense too severely. Like they're about to score, and just because the ball slips out of their hands at the back of the end zone, it's a touchback, and they lose. The losing possession is what makes it really bad. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
That just completely changes the momentum of the game, and it's just unfair for the offense who worked hard to get like near the end zone, and that's how they get rewarded is by losing the ball. And yeah, it's just a terrible rule. I'm surprised nothing's been done by now. Like I'm sure they've looked at this after every offseason, and I'm sure they've gotten feedback on what rules they could change, and no one's said anything. Like it's kind of weird.
Yeah. So on the broadcast, it's Al Michaels, right? Am I right? Okay, so I believe right after this happened, and usually when this happens, Al Michaels, he's obviously great. Like the commentator, the announcer, like right away is like, "Oh, the rule!" Like it's an obvious thing. It's not like I'm crazy. So I don't get it. It's like, okay, so all the rules. Forget about what I said about marketing and stuff, because I know no one likes that talk. But even though that is what it is, like this is why we love this, and this is the type of this is the way football has evolved. It's a high scoring passing offense. Forget about that. All the rules, football, coaching, everything, right? Everything to do with football right now is like risk it all, sacrifice yourself, right? Sacrifice in chess, right? Sacrifice some big pieces so you can get a checkmate. So it's like sacrifice, and this is the picture right here, which is great. Sacrifice everything, risk it all to get the big payday. What's the big payday? Is a touchdown, right? So in war, sacrifice everything so you win a battle. This is the battle, getting the end zone. Everything's like go in the end zone, dive in there, one hand, like just do whatever it takes to cross the goal line. If you lose a couple of limbs, if you're barely holding on to the ball, do it. Like everything's pointing towards that. And then it's like, well, if the ball slips out and falls in an obscure location, you know what? You don't get any points, and then the other team gets the ball. And I mean, it's when you talk about momentum, it's like I mean, the Vikings could have won this game, maybe, if not for like it's a huge deal. So chat, let me know what you guys think about this rule change. We'll answer questions at the end.
It's kind of like that. I know it's a weird analogy. It's kind of a weird analogy, but it's kind of like Harry Potter when they're playing that Quidditch game, or like, and then they're flying around. But if someone catches the little ball that's flying, the game's over. You know, it's like a weird rule that like no one likes.
I don't know anything about Quidditch except that my book when I came out was going head to head with the rules of Quidditch because it was under a fantasy. For some reason, it was under fantasy games or fantasy sports category. I beat J.K. Rowling, by the way, barely, because the rules of Quidditch for $20 was selling like hotcakes on Amazon.
Wow.
So I barely beat her out. I mean,
take
it was
that, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, take that, stupid Quidditch. What is this Quidditch? Stupid.
We sound like boomers.
Yeah, it's so get that Quidditch out of here. We're trying to play NFL football here. Smooth says trash rule. I've pounded the desk about this for years in the couch Discord. Yeah. No one's listening to us. We need a bigger podcast. We need something. We need a voice. I mean, your voice is heard here. Yeah, like is someone who's like way better at this than us, way bigger audience than us. Yeah, Pat McAfee. Come on, dude. We need to be heard. Damn it. What is this crap? It's just a weird. It makes no sense. Like it's just the weirdest thing ever. I hated that call. Someone called Tony Romo. I mean, that doesn't quite make sense. I feel like Dak's on our side. I don't know what he's saying, but
just put the ball on the 10. Isn't that fair? Like put the ball on the 10, you know, or something like that.
Or line of scrimmage, like worst case, put it back to the line of scrimmage, throw a flag, and go 10 yards back behind the line of scrimmage or something.
Yeah, 10-yard penalty. 10-yard penalty.
Something. Yeah, give the offense. I don't care where it is. Just give the offense the ball back and some kind of small penalty, and then. What are you doing? Where would they put the ball? Oh, I just answered that. So, two ideas I have. Back to the. So let's say it's they did it on a first down, right? Jefferson on a first down almost scores a touchdown. Now it's second down. They go back to the line of scrimmage and go it over, or 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage and they throw a flag. Either or.
Okay, I'm with that.
Either or. Loss of downs.
Yeah,
I think the flag would be the best compromise because there's people right now kind of arguing with me, like this guy here, this here goes nothing. I mean, whatever the heck he's talking about. Like to kind of compromise, let's do the 10-yard thing.
Okay. Well, the point is something should be done. Anything else?
I don't know what you want, Toast, right now because I'm trying to compromise in the middle. So I don't know. What do you want, Toast? I mean, as of right now, it's way too extreme. So it should just be better than what it is all I'm asking for. So give the ball back to the offense. That's fine. Rule stands in my so much for I thought so. Whatever. It doesn't. I don't think it makes any sense what you say because for this one you're saying is like so much for fighting for a 50-yard TD. Just if you put back on your own 40. But you want the other team to get the ball. So what you're saying, you're kind of contradicting yourself. Replay the down. You got to lose the down. down.
You got to lose it down at minimum.
He's just kidding. He's just kidding because people see this is the problem right now. People don't think they have a voice. So they're joking about this. I'm telling you guys, we've accomplished crazier things in life than getting a rule overturned. Come on. I'll tweet to Pat McAfee. 1 in a million chance he sees that. We'll find a like this can happen. You guys just don't understand. In life, we've accomplished much more. Miracles have happened. To change this rule, it's not out of the question. Remember when we didn't know what a catch was? Calvin Johnson, Des Bryant. That changed. Now a catch is a catch. We're going to change this. We're going to change this rule. Dex says, yes, absolutely on your side. It's a horrible rule. It squashed the heck out of the momentum. Ball would have been down where he less control. It's not touched and goes into the end zone. Yeah, I mean, it's just a stupid rule. Okay, so everybody in chat except Toast, who contradicts himself,
He's zagging.
Loves it. Yeah, loves it. Yeah, like I said, give the ball back to the offense. 1 or 2 small punishments. You lose the down. It's the next down. Maybe a 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage where the play started, and boom, you start again. It's a punishment. It sucks. You think the offense is gonna love that? I don't love it. I mean, you're literally like a millimeter away from scoring a touchdown, and now you got to do it all over again, and you have 1 less down. Well, I didn't say the catches are perfect. So we fixed it. I didn't say everything in the world is perfect. Nothing is perfect. But it was dumb for a while where when we saw a catch, I mean, we've been playing catch our whole lives. And then when you see a catch and then the refs are like, nah, that's not a catch. Like at least we made a step forward. In essence, we fixed it. What did the D do to deserve the possession? Nothing. I mean, sometimes the defense knocks the ball out, but vast majority of the time, it's just like this, where there's someone scrambling to get in the end zone, a quarterback scrambling to get in, or wide receivers leaping, or running backs just going all out, diving over a pile. And it's like, yeah, defense usually doesn't do anything to get this. Like,
if the defense hits it from behind, like punches it out, and then it goes through the end zone, is that also a touchback? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter who touches it. It just matters if it's a fumble. Yeah. So as of now, the rule, it doesn't matter who's touching it or what, as long as the offense fumbles into the end zone, it's a touchback and the opposing team gets the ball. It's just stupid. Anyway, I'm moving on. It's okay. You can disagree or whatever, but I think we'll start a little movement. We'll start a GoFundMe. We'll start a petition. All money will be donated to something frivolous. We'll make it happen. We'll get it going. All right. Some news from my favorite internet doctor, Sportsmed Analytics. Let's go over some quick news here. Did you know today, Mike, that Puka Nacua did not practice?
I did.
I picked him up injury.
So insane. Not like he was a great start going against the Niners D.
So I think he's okay. It's not a great. Well, it's not ideal, but let me put it like this: what are they going to do? They're going to be behind, and you definitely don't want to start a Rams running back. I'll tell you that right now, guys.
True.
Okay, so he'll get targets. I mean, it's not amazing, but I was starting him in one league. What's funny is I just dropped Van Jefferson like seconds before this news came out.
I was gonna say there was a video I saw where on the his last catch of the game, he like tweaked it. He like landed weird, and then you could see him saying like my right leg, like on the video.
What's oblique? What is oblique?
I don't know. It's definitely a lower, it's leg injury, like a thigh type injury.
Okay, so
lower body for sure.
I think it's like the abs. Oblique, is that like when you work out your side, like the side of your abs? I think that's it. Yeah, I think it's the side. I'm just seeing pictures. Yeah, so I think it's right here, kind of by your ribs, that muscle. Rib area. Okay.
Right. Abdomen area. Okay. Rib area. Okay. But yeah, so there was like a video that was circulating where he kind of landed weird. I don't know if that kind of had anything to do with it, but it was interesting to see that, he might have tweaked something on that last catch he had in week 1.
Possibly. That's speculating, but yeah, possibly. So our boy Sportsmed Analytics on Instagram. Make sure you guys go give him a follow. said that Friday's practice will determine what's up, obviously. Yeah, but he's expecting him to play if he had to bank on it, if he had to bet one way or another. So overall, that's good news for him. He's expecting Eckler not to play. Could be out for a couple of weeks, could be back week 3 or 4. Aaron Jones to be announced. He thinks he might play, but if he does play, it will be of elevated re-injury risk, mild performance hit. So again, Friday's practice will be telling. He went from, so the data was on 65% that Kelsey's going to be back this week. Now he's saying 70% chance he's going to be back. I'm thinking there's a really good chance he's going to be back. I know Kelsey's going to be pushing to play. So if he can go, he will go. So we'll see. And if he doesn't come back this week, the latest he'll come back is week 3 for Travis Kelce. Kind of bad news for Mark Andrews. He's saying the data is showing 60% chance Mark Andrews will come back.
I think he'll play. I heard he's been feeling.
I was expecting him to play, but the data is showing 60%. This is just data, by the way, which is a very good way. This is how he does things. It's a good predictive, but I mean, we'll see. Jerry Jeudy looks like he's going to play.
He said lean toward playing. So
yeah. Jerry Jeudy seems like he's going to play. Data suggests moderate 15% performance hit, 15% re-injury risk for the first 6 weeks. That's not good for guys always hurt. DeAndre Hopkins video suggests low severity, high ankle, average 1 to 2 weeks out. Lean towards sitting week 2. Okay. So we'll see. That's up in the air. Christian Watson likely out week 2. Deontay Johnson.
4 weeks.
Up to 4 weeks out. That's what they're saying, but it could be like 3. IR decision pending. Data suggests week 5 return most likely, but with elevated re-injury risk. Oh, man, that's terrible.
Pick up Calvin Austin. Maybe.
Calvin Austin?
Yeah.
Allen Robinson. People, it's just, I don't want to start any of those guys. Thank you for the super sticker from Louise. We can't see it on here, but I'm sure it's a nice looking sticker. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Luis.
Darren Waller likely playing, no performance impact, but given hamstring history, high injury risk.
He's definitely getting hurt again.
McLaurin, we're going to talk more about him later, by the way. This is Darren Waller. He just had his birthday yesterday. I'm in a league with him.
Whoa.
It's pretty crazy. It goes deep. It goes deep into the rabbit hole here. Terry McLaurin, he had that turf toe injury. So you're saying that it's probably going to be a performance dip, but he'll likely be full strength by week 3 or 4. Who cares about DJ Chark? I don't feel like reading that. We're not getting this, Steve. Raheem Mostert, I think it's fine. Brandon Cooks is hurt. Wow, shocking. Pretend to be shocked. Oh, what's this? Aaron Rodgers. Probably starting week 1 of 2024. Position players see major performance hit. QB data equals limited, but anticipate mild deep ball plus mobility limitation. So I think it's as big of a deal for quarterbacks as it is for running backs. And Pat Freiermuth, I'm really interested in this guy, having a lot of leagues. Lean towards playing week 2. Data suggests mild performance hit for 2 weeks. Overall, good news, I guess. Not a big deal. Okay, I think that's about it with that. All right, let's do some buy low, sell high, and we will answer some of your questions for sure. Look, guys, okay, we're going to do the buy low, sell high segment. We're going to get through this. And then I need you guys to ask dope questions. None of that BS, none of that long-winded, crappy questions. All right. Save the podcast. Make the podcast good. Help us out with content. Give us really good content, really good questions. We want to answer your questions.
Ooh.
Just make them good, please.
Dak gave me my first ever super chat. So that's what's up. Shout out, Dak.
So I will subtract 30% from this and Venmo you, Mike.
All right, thank you.
Just to be fair. But I got, YouTube's got to get its 30% first,
Okay.
That's the rules. That's Big Daddy. All right, Mike, take it away. You got 4 guys for us.
All right, I'll keep this short and sweet. First guy up is T. Higgins. So he had a goose egg week 1 against the Browns, which wasn't ideal. But I think it's because I attribute it to, it's week 1. It takes a while since a lot of the starters don't play in the preseason and have the chance to get warmed up. I also think Joe Burrow getting the big payday. A lot of people that get paid the big bucks, it kind of gave him a slow start, I think. So I think that he will bounce back again. He did get 8 targets, by the way, against the Browns, which I think is a good sign. But he plays Baltimore this week. T. Higgins will need to be involved, and I think he gets in the end zone. He's a great wide receiver, too, if you have him on your team. Obviously, you're going to start him if you have him, but if someone, is down on him, try to get him if you can, because you never know. Like, I've seen crazy things happen this week, which I'll get to later. The second guy, rookie Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, we all know the head coach of the Lions, he said that they were going to ease Jahmyr Gibbs in. And week 1, he was okay. He slipped. He should have scored, and he would have had a much bigger game. He finished around with 8 fantasy points in PPR, but he did slip. So if he scored on that play, I think the fantasy world would be really talking about him as a great running back right now. Every time he touched the ball, he was electric. Like, you could see the difference between him and David Montgomery. David Montgomery was the one who did get the touchdown. But I think against the Seattle defense in week 2 this will be Jahmyr Gibbs' coming out party, and you're going to see why he was a top 12 pick by the Lions this year. All right, so that's it for the buy candidates. Do you have any feedback on that?
Yeah, Gibbs, just 2 quick things. When he touched the ball, he looked like a good, complete back. And against teams like the Chiefs defense, let's say they're playing the Chargers or something, same type of deal, it's pretty evident that the Lions should use the RB position more. And we do expect Gibbs to get more snaps and touches moving forward. So I like your 2 candidates so far.
Good. So now this one I had to put on because our producer, Drew, who had Jamar Chase, he traded him to Scout for Derrick Henry because he was low on running back depth. So if you are in a similar position and you have the chance to sell and get a player like Chase for Derrick Henry, you got to run out and do it, because I think Derrick Henry's 29 years old, and most of the running backs at this point of their careers, they fall off. I feel like this is the year where he finally falls off. In week 1, he played it was a stingy Saints defense. He got 15 points, which is pretty good without scoring a touchdown. But what you should notice is that the rookie Tyjae Spears, he got a lot of touches. He got a lot of touches in the second half. I think they had about a 50-50, split in terms of carries. And Tyjae Spears healthy. I just think this is the year that Henry declines. And so if you can sell him high now and get a player like Chase or someone of that caliber, this is the time to do it,
Just a quick correction there, actually. So this is the only one I disagree with. Might as well say it right now. So 50-50 split with the snaps, not 50-50 split with the touches. Not with the touches.
The snaps, not touches.
Sorry. Yeah. So Tyjae Spears, 4 targets. I think really that's what's telling. Although Henry did get targets, only 3 carries. So it was kind of like, I don't know. So with Derrick Henry, though, I made this mistake last year. I don't want you to make this mistake. This is one I severely disagree with. By the way, Drew, I think he did a great with that trade.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because JT's the guy to avoid.
You should say the trade just for the audience. So the trade.
Yeah, it's off the top of my head.
Just Henry. I think it was Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor for Cooper Kupp and no, wait. It was
right here on our screen.
You got it.
There we go.
Okay, so Scout got Jonathan Taylor and Chase. He's a Bengals fan for Derrick Henry and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, so with JT, I guess it's an even trade. With JT, I just like to avoid players like JT and Jacobs, like that are holding out and like this and that. Like you just never know. At least we have Cup. Like if he somehow does stay healthy and comes back, he's still Cooper Cup. Like if Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell can do it, I think Cooper Cup can do it too. There's a shot he does stay healthy. With Derrick Henry, he always starts off slow. I was trying to sell him last year. Thankfully, I did not sell him. He helped me make the playoffs, helped me split the third place pot, even though I had terrible injuries with guys like Brees Hall. So no, I would not sell Derrick Henry. Like we said, Tajay Spears did get half the snap, so it's like, okay, that's a little bit worrisome, but who got, the real touches and who looked good? It was Derrick Henry. And man, he's to me, he reminds me of a guy like Adrian Peterson. Like he's doing it at an older age. He looks incredible. He's just absolutely crushing it. He is the offense. So that's the only one I really disagree with you. Tajay Spears, though, and one of the best top 5 handcuff in fantasy football. So I do think he's very
One more
valuable.
thing I would like to mention, though, is like, I don't know about the Titans offense in general. Like, if you could trade someone on the Titans offense for someone on the Bengals offense, I feel like the guy who has on the Bengals offense has a much better chance.
Talking about T. Higgins? Well, you can find a
No,
wide
I'm talking about
receiver.
Chase. Like, if you get a guy like Chase on that offense as opposed
But
to
no one's doing Henry for Chase straight up. I'm not
saying that, but he did get Chase for
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, so I guess the trade I'd say is pretty even. But the thing is I hate JT. That's my
But what if
my
Cooper
thing.
Kupp doesn't come back week
Yeah,
5?
there's a great
a
chance that Cooper
lingering
Cup gets
thing.
hurt again for sure.
Right.
Like it, and then it's done. Like the trade, I've been in who won the trade for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. No, it's a tough. I mean, they both made terrible draft day decision. Like the one guy drafted Cup and the other guy drafted JT, and I mean it sucks, right? I mean, what are you gonna do? So they figured to trade him. I just rather get, like, to me, I know Cooper Kupp's not going to fake an injury. I know he's going to go out there and play. I know he's not going to hold out. Like these are like, I know he's got a good quarterback. I know he's got a good coach, right? These are all things we can all agree on, right?
Sure.
JT, what? Yeah, he can come back and play, but like he's probably faking an injury right now, to be honest, or exaggerating it. Like he could get traded, which would be great. But I'm just saying, like, his owner is unhinged. At the very least.
That's true.
He's pouting. Like I've seen photo images, evidence of him pouting. Like his face, this is like the saddest puppy face I've ever seen in my life of him at practice. He's not happy, and who would be with an unhinged owner and Jim Irsay? Jeez. So that's more of why I said Drew won the trade. But now look at it. I mean, it's like, I don't know what's gonna happen with this. I just don't like JT. Anyway, but with Derrick Henry, this is the one I strongly disagree with. You cannot find running backs nowadays. It's very hard. I mean, look, we found Swift today, but like that's just because Gainwell got hurt. It's gonna be hard, man, to find a running back. I'm telling you. And Derrick Henry's not a guy I'm selling, especially not after a huge game. So the high part, it's not. I mean, that's kind of like a sell lukewarm, I'd say. So I don't know what you're going to get for him, even if you do, which I don't think you should be selling at all. Next guy.
Okay, and last guy is Jakobi Meyers, who is coming off a very good game where he scored 2 touchdowns, got 10 targets, 9 receptions, but he did so against a Denver defense who they were keying on Devontae Adams with Patrick Surtain, so he was able to get a lot of weak coverage, but that's just not going to happen again, I feel like. So now is the time to sell high on that great performance. I'm not a big believer in the Raiders passing attack. And there's probably a lot of Raider fans who saw that game are like, oh yeah, I want Jakobi Meyers. And they probably would, I would sell him to the Raider fan in your league if you have one. Because I just don't think that he's going to have another big game like that. He's a good player, but this is probably the highest his value is going to get all year. It's only downhill from here, in my opinion. So that's the last guy, Jakobi Meyers. And he's concussed. So
This one, I'm okay with. I just don't know what you can get. Like, let's be real. To make this trade work, you'd have to be trading with an idiot, right?
Or Raider fan.
Or Raider. Well,
Which
I
is
mean,
kind of like both.
that's kind of the same. Yeah, it's the same thing. So, you know how much I hate the Raider fans. So I'm such a hater.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, there are idiots in your league. Like usually in a 12-team league, we have about 1.5 idiots on average. So they're out there. I just don't think, like, he's got a questionable tag. He's in the concussion protocol. He doesn't have that big household name. So I don't think you can get much for him. I thought he looked awesome. I'm just a little worried moving forward what's going to happen. And also, it was kind of the matchup where Patrick Surtain and the defense was focusing on Adams, and Adams still did okay, but Jacoby Myers was just, he's just dominating in his role. Will that happen every week? Probably not. I just don't know what we can get for him is all. Like, I just wish like this guy's name was like just this big sexy name, because like if you see this name and he got like a popular name and he got the same stats, you'd be like, oh my God, he's the best guy. Like if his name was Amon-Ra St. Brown, everybody be like, oh my God, he's the best. He's going to be wide receiver 1 this year. He's going to beat Jefferson. Like nobody is going to say that this guy's going to beat Justin Jefferson. True. Like, I'm sorry, but if Amon-Ra put up this stat line, they'd be like, he's a top 2, top 3 wide receiver. Definitely. Easily. That's just the only issue. But hey, like you said, you're trading with guys, right? That guy might not be in your league, but there's a 1 out of 12 chance that guy, the perfect trade partner, is in your league. So hopefully you can make that happen.
Agreed.
Here's one that, by the way, we had an incredible Hack My Lineup live stream. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I kept replaying Najee Harris getting smacked and the whole, like, it's all demonetized and banned in America. Like, all this, I'm fighting it. I'm cutting out the segment to put that back up online. But anyway, it was awesome. But what we were doing on every single hack, I was sending out trades, Garrett Wilson for T. Higgins. And then I was like, all right, if he declines, just add like a crappy running back and get this done. Like add Eli Mitchell, like just add whatever it was. I forgot who it was, but like add like this guy and get it done. So we were just sending this trade out constantly, which is just incredible. I mean, Garrett Wilson, I was pretty high on him before the year, but without Aaron Rodgers,
this was going to be a breakout year. I drafted him in 2 leagues in the second, and I'm very sad. As soon as I saw Aaron Rodgers go down, I knew there was a chance my fantasy season also went down.
That sucks, dude. Because I took Devontae Adams in the Couch League in round 2, and I didn't love it. But now, yeah, I'd rather have Devontae Adams than Garrett Wilson. And it's just, I mean, I was hoping that Garrett Wilson fell to me, and I was gonna take him. And he went 1 or 2 picks right before me, and I took Devontae Adams. And now, I mean, I much rather have Devontae Adams than Garrett Wilson. Zach Wilson threw the ugliest ball, and Garrett Wilson made the most spectacular catch and grabbed it down. That won't happen every week. I mean, Zach Wilson's he's just a clown. Like when he plays, I don't know what he's doing. Like cue up the clown music, put this man on a tricycle, give him the honky tonky red clown nose. Like he runs back 22 yards and throws the ball 24 yards like every play. Like, what are you doing, dog? Like he's like, I'm playing like a little kid in Madden or something. Just starts running backwards when they snap the ball, and then it just throws it, like pushes a random button. Like, what are you doing back there? This is terrible. So yeah. Garrett Wilson scored a touchdown. Hopefully you can use that to get a player. I mean, I would go get anybody. I'd get Joe Mixon. I'd go to get T. Higgins. I know you can get Najee for cheap, maybe. You could probably do better than Najee. There's so many players you can go. I would trade Garrett Wilson for Gibbs straight up.
I don't know who would do that, though. Like, no one would do that, I don't think.
Yeah, it'd have to be one of those idiots, huh?
Like this one right here from Travis right here, like for Miles Sanders, like that's realistic. Like that could happen, You know what I mean? that one's real.
Yeah. No, nobody would trade you Gibbs. But hey, I'm throwing it out there. I've seen some that trade I mentioned is unrealistic a bit, but I've seen some lopsided trades. I think we've seen one on Facebook too, Mike, but I've seen some on my YouTube comments that were just like absolute smashes. So
I think you
I've
could
seen
get like
several.
Mike Evans. I think you could get like a Mike Evans.
That's kind of low. I've seen much better. I've seen a 2-for-2 T Higgins where it was basically Garrett Wilson for T Higgins. Like this has happened.
Well, right now it's good because Higgins had a goose egg. So
yeah, but still, Higgins was a round 2 guy. He was going at the end of round 2. Like
I think that's the
pretty
highest.
great.
That's the highest you could go, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like that's.
You're not gonna get better than T Higgins. Like,
what about Drake London? Would you trade him for Drake London?
No.
Right, that's the floor. Like that's where it's.
No, I'm not trading for Drake London. I mean, I'd rather have Garrett Wilson. So,
okay, that's how bad Drake London is, right?
I mean, how many times does Ritter throw the ball? Here's another trade advice I have for you guys that came up from the live stream last night. Christian Kirk sucks. Okay, the Christian Kirk heyday is over, ladies and gentlemen. He was being way overdrafted in best ball, and in best ball, that's actually his strong suit because he is going to be like a tiny Mike Evans. That's Christian Kirk. He's a slot speed receiver now. Guess what, guys? There's a new alpha dog in town. There's a new alpha wide receiver. The gambler is in town. The sheriff, the whole town is shutting up. They're shutting down. They're boarding up the windows and everything because Calvin Ridley's in town. He's the man. Okay. Couple that with ETN. I thought ETN was a soft running back. He's back in action. He looks great. Evan Ingram has gone nowhere. He's a wide receiver disguised at a tight end designation. He looks good. Zay Jones is still there. Guys, look at this. I have a little bit of some visuals for you guys, some actual evidence here, because I think everybody knows Calvin Ridley. Thankfully, it feels great that I don't suck this year in my fantasy takes. It feels good. Every now and then the fantasy takes, it just feels like the whole world's crashing on you. I'm just dancing this year. All my takes are good. We'll see if it lasts. But last year was very like halfway. Like I was hanging on to Breece Hall and then he got hurt. And, so I did okay last year. A few years ago, the Austin Eckler being a bust, I said that was a horrible year for me. Other than that, pretty good with the takes. But when I do have bad takes, it feels like the whole world's crumbling on me. I try to help people win. So it's good it's happening. And this was another one here where I was telling everyone to draft Calvin Ridley. I was like, he's going to be top 10 wide receiver. I guarantee it. Potential to be top 5. It's happening. It's already happened and it's happening. Zay Jones, 89% of snaps, 7 targets. Mr. Speed Slot, Christian Kirk, week 1, 60% of snaps, 3 targets. Horrible. Okay. Now, Christian Kirk will have boom weeks. Don't get me wrong, because he's not like that horrible or anything. I just knew this was Trevor Lawrence and this was Dougie P and the new offense. It wasn't Christian Kirk, right? I had Christian Kirk last year, but just because he was the number 1 guy, not because he was the guy or he would be the guy in any offense. Nah, we seen him on the Cardinals. He was just okay. But here's the thing. That boom week we're looking for could be happening week 2. Week 2 is Jaguars versus Chiefs. I believe the Jaguars are at home. Okay, so the Jaguars are at home. This game is slated to be the highest scoring game of the week. 51 points over under, -3.5 Chiefs. So the Chiefs are favored to win slightly. This is going to be a shootout. Maybe similar type of game to what we just saw Thursday Night Football. Close game. So if Christian Kirk, this is the game where you're in a 12-team league, okay? You start Christian Kirk, okay? You pretend to believe in him because the guy you're going to be trading with is going to see that you started Christian Kirk, right? There's a good chance. I'd say there's like a 55-60% chance he'll do well. Then you trade Christian Kirk. Get rid of him ASAP. He's going to be up and down. He's not going to be that good. So hopefully you start him week 2 and then sell him. Exactly. I think everybody knows Calvin Ridley now. Maybe people didn't believe me, but everybody knows now. All right, let's answer some questions. I seen a really good one here. Oh, nope. That's whoa, there's a lot of what is this? There's a lot of questions. Dope question number 1. Kendrick Bourne got 11 targets. He's a great dynasty prospect at one time. New England passing offense is possibly decent. Are we buying? Yes, I think Kendrick Bourne is legit with Tyquan Thornton out, Devontae Parker out, but those guys are going to return, and it might take a hit with Kendrick Bourne. I just don't think that you need to trade for him or anything like that. You could I just got him off free agency the other day. So, I mean, this is a waiver pickup. This isn't necessarily one that I trade anything for. Would you trade Henry for a guy like Olave, Devontae Adams? I think that's a fine trade, even though I said not to sell Henry, because you're essentially getting him for a guy who was drafted right around that same spot. This is where you talk, Mike.
Wait, which part?
The question I got up here.
Would you trade Henry for a guy like Olave and Adams? Yeah, I'd probably do it for Adams. Yeah.
Those guys were all drafted around the same spot, so I don't see a problem with that. I just don't think you want to trade, like you want to just ship Derrick Henry for nothing. Running backs are worth more though. They're going to be harder to find every year. There's not a lot of workhorses, and I still consider Henry a workhorse. I drafted Chubb, Henry, Brees, and D-Hop as my best receiver. Who should I trade for Chase, if any?
Henry.
Yeah, I will do that. Is that realistic? Derrick Henry for Chase? I don't think so.
It happened basically. Like in my eyes, that's what the trade was. In my eyes.
Well, so Cooper Kupp was involved.
Ja'Marr Chase and Henry.
Nah.
Do you really think Cooper Kupp is gonna come back and be like regular Cooper?
No, I'm trying to think where they got drafted. So this draft happened at a
Derrick
unique
Henry,
time.
Cooper Kupp got drafted at the 11-12.
No, not them. No. Cooper Kupp and JT. So they were actually roughly going around the same spot. Kupp going a little earlier. Once we got the news about
JT was like a third rounder in most drafts.
And Cooper Kupp was a second rounder after the second hamstring news. So see, that's what I mean. Hey, look, whatever though. If you can do that, do it. Derrick Henry for I mean,
you can.
I'd like to get Chase for just regardless. So it's not I'm answering trade Henry yes to all these questions. It's not because I want to ship Henry. It's because we got some good trade targets here. Dope question number 2. I'll be the judge of that. Should we be worried about the Bengals offense? Is that Cleveland defense formula repeatable by the rest of the league? No, I think they'll bounce back.
Me too. I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah. Good surprising secondary by the Cleveland Browns. Just a crazy contract situation where Higgins didn't get it. He didn't get an extension. Burrow got one. Massive contract. And also the weather. Like, it's just a combination of things. Not trying to make excuses, but it happens. I would definitely say that's a fluke more than like it's not. Just a couple more questions and then we'll end it. I'll just go all the way down. Is starting Bijan and Tyler Algier optimal? Kat, you don't want to do this if you don't worry about Bijan in this equation. So the question actually now, I'm changing your question to like when to start Algier. We went over this yesterday's live stream. You only want to start Algier when the Falcons like have a lead, when you see them running, when that's that type of game script. Otherwise, don't start Algier. Starting both of them, I wouldn't be scared to do so if you had it. Now, if you're in an 8-team league or a 10-team league, you're probably not starting Algier. Start 2, Pacheco, Miles Sanders, or Algier. What?
I would do Sanders and Algier.
I'm benching Algier.
Yeah.
Is Hunter Henry worth picking up? In short, yes. There's not a lot of tight ends, good tight ends out there. Do you trade Garrett Wilson, Addison, and Hill for Amon-Ra St. Brown? Now, when you say Hill, I'm going to assume that's Justice Hill. Yeah. Quality over quantity. Yeah. See, I'm smart, dude. That's why I knew it was Justice Hill. Yeah, yeah. guess I'm not that smart. It's pretty obvious.
Can't be
because Tyreek Hill's like, what is he, the best or the second best wide receiver? Somewhere around there, roughly. Roughly,
the best.
The best. Okay,
who's better after last week? There's no way.
This is a good question though. Garrett Wilson for James Cook.
Ooh, now we're getting somewhere. I would rather have Garrett Wilson. I think
I'm gonna say no because although James Cook is good.
He's not great though.
Yes, exactly. We know this is a Josh Allen team.
Yeah,
It's Josh Allen centric, like from beginning to end, from the bottom, the middle, the top. It's Josh Allen day 1, day 2, day 3, and it's not a running back friendly offense. Not that James Cook sucks. I just think it's just below that threshold. So if you included a terrible player in this trade and then you got back a decent one as well, 2 for 2, yes, I would do it. It's close, but no, it's not nearly as close as I'd like it. All right, guys, remember to ask good questions, not terrible ones, to make us look good. Let's do a couple more questions. Trade Joshua Kelly for Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I like the Garrett Wilson side. Joshua Kelly is amazing, but only when Eckler isn't playing. Okay. Let's do a few more questions. Do I trade AJ Brown? If so, for what?
No.
Because it's not selling high, right? We want to wait to sell high.
Yeah, don't do it.
How did he do?
He didn't do great. He could have had like 2 TDs. There's penalties.
Devontae Smith. Oh man, yeah, he did it way worse than last week.
Buy low on AJ Brown. That's what you should.
Yeah, it's more of a buy low. Yeah, you definitely got the wrong strategy here, but it's it's good. Don't take it personal, man. We're trying to help you out. What combination scores more from that trade? Cup Henry, JT. Who's JAM?
I think he means Ja'Marr Chase.
Ja'Marr Chase, yeah. Well, Mike likes the side with Chase.
Yeah.
And I mean he brings up a really good point as well. So this is the trade that just went down in the couch league. Yeah, to me, I don't know, maybe I'm just weird. I just don't want JT on my team. But I mean, I'd love Chase on my team though. It's
top 3 pick in most drafts, most competitive.
Yeah. It's a tough, I really don't know, but so we'll just go with Mike's opinion. Mike likes the Ja'Marr Chase side. He's like, you are getting a young receiver, Burrows guy. It's a lock. Although I love Derrick Henry, it's he is old on a crappy team. Like it, I mean, it is. Even though I still think he's going to be great, it's not Ja'Marr Chase. Those guys did not go in the same area in the draft for sure. By anybody, not anyone's taken Derrick Henry top 5 in any. And no way. Not in a PPR league. Trade Mike Evans for IU. Yes. That's silly.
Come on.
That's it. Talk about 2 dudes that weren't. You know what? Actually, in some noobs might draft Mike Evans early.
I got him in the 8th round in one league.
That's normal.
Okay.
But every now and then, Germ in our league drafts him in like round 4 or 5. That's stupid.
That was the worst pick I've ever seen.
Guys, even if these guys are equal, I'm trading for Ayuk because he's more consistent than Mike Evans. In a normal league, consistency matters a lot.
And Ayuk is like in his prime right now. He's probably the best he's ever been in his career. Year 4 or 3, I don't know.
Smooth also agrees with you, and I think you guys are kind of selling me as in out of these 4 guys, one guy is like the most guaranteed, like elite player, and I guess that's Chase. So you guys are and quality over quantity. So I I might have to agree with you guys that you get the Chase side and just hope. I mean, Jonathan Taylor could still get traded. So if that happens, then boom.
Yeah, you won.
Then, he's going to be playing and he's going to be probably pretty good because it's going to be to a contender. All right, Mike has to take off, so I'll let you take off. I'll answer a few more questions.
Right. See you guys. Love you guys.
Take off. Appreciate you, Mike. I'll answer a few more questions though. Yeah, you guys have been convincing me. JT to Baltimore, bro. Yeah, that would be crazy because we were like JT and AR, right? Well, Lamar Jackson, very similar quarterback to Anthony Richardson, so we'd see that same type of combo there. That's a lot of pressure for defenses. What's up, Getter Don in the building? I'm glad I didn't trade you Ayuk in auction league. Oh, I totally forgot I sent you that trade offer. Quentin Johnson for Ayuk. I would have infinity stoned all you guys in that league. Getting paid the big bucks makes you slower. Okay. Who's getting paid the big bucks? Yeah, it's another team. The Dolphins got JT. Who's got pretty decent speed for a big running back. The defense wouldn't know what to do because the Dolphins would essentially be two offenses in one. They'd be this big power up the gut offense, which they could have at any given time, any given play. It don't matter. Or they could have Tyreek Hill go off for 200 yards while Jalen Waddle goes off for 100 yards. There's been a lot of games where Tyreek Hill gets 150 yards, Waddle gets 150. Like, that'd be so just multi-dimensional. And I feel like if you have JT on the Dolphins, it doesn't matter if you call that pass play or that run play. I feel like both could be successful. And especially if you catch the defense off guard with the play call, and it's just nuts. Automatic first down or big play. They have the money right now to do it, but I would rather they extend Wilkins. So we're talking about Mark. Oh, I forgot to talk about the Waller news. I'll talk about that. But so Sportsman Analytics says 60% chance. The data shows that Mark Andrews will return. But all the news is pointing towards him playing this week. Like I've always said, I think he was on my rankings. He's tied with TJ Hawkinson. I love TJ Hawkinson. I'm glad he's doing very well for us. Mark Andrews, he's still great though. He's a very special tight end, very special fantasy tight end as well. So he's going to be great, man. I don't know where this injury came from. It sucks, but he'll probably be back this week and he'll probably be good, really good. So, although I was telling you guys not to draft him just because I preferred Hawkinson around later, doesn't mean that he sucks or anything. He's still a top 3 tight end. Everyone's going to say top 2. I say top 3 because I think he is tied with Hawkinson when it comes to fantasy production, when it comes to receiving stats. I trade Drake London for Khalil Herbert today. Yeah, I think I was talking to you about that. I said yes, just because not a huge Khalil Herbert fan, but you got Drake London, who's on your bench all the time. You're never going to know when to start him. You're kind of worried about him. What is he, your wide receiver 4? At least get Khalil Herbert, who's a capable running back. Because guess what, guys? Everyone at one point in fantasy this year is going to be in a pinch where they're going to need a running back. I mean, it just happened this week, right? Aaron Jones, Kenny Gainwell, like these guys are hurt. If you drafted J.K. Dobbins, like there's so much going on already, right? Maybe you drafted Cam Akers like me. You got to bench Cam Akers this week against the Niners. So it's like, I'd rather have like an Khalil Herbert, who's essentially like an RB3, than Drake London, who's a wide receiver 4. Because I can probably find a Drake London off waivers. Matter of fact, Kendrick Bourne. There we go. He's better than Drake London, right away. Some random dude basically off free agency. Maybe Kendrick Bourne doesn't last as far as being a fantasy guy we can start. But it'll probably last a couple more weeks. We can drop him and we can find another one. Maybe that guy's going to be KJ Osborne, who's available in leagues. In other words, Drake London is replaceable. How long till Roshan is full-time starter? Seems he's already going to get good receiving work. Yeah, this is just like I predicted, but the timetable's even faster than I predicted. Now, I do not think, and you guys know I'm the biggest Roshan fan, was pushing Roshan Johnson propaganda since my first Dynasty videos, been pushing it since my ranking videos, since my guy videos, in my busts videos where I said, don't draft Khalil Herbert, get Roshan for half the price. I'm the biggest Roshan fan from day one, day zero. All right. I don't think he's going to be a complete workhorse. This is a four-headed monster. Good thing is the Bears run a lot. They never pass. It's a four-headed monster. If you include Justin Fields, who's essentially a running back, Dante Foreman got a little bit of run too. But Roshan's role is going to grow. So, I mean, we're kind of talking semantics here. Like, I get your question. It's a valid, good question. So, essentially saying, like, when's he going to be, like, the number one running back? Like, and it's going to be more evident. Like, when's he going to push and pass through Khalil Herbert? I think sooner than later. I think it's going to take about 0 to 1 weeks. I think the time is now. He's a better pass protector. He's got a lot more power. He's an incredible running back all around. Literally only one thing is he doesn't have elite breakaway speed. I think he's still got enough speed to be a good NFL running back. He just doesn't have elite breakaway speed, and Khalil Herbert does. He's a good home run threat. So I still think, man, is going to be 2 to 3 running backs every game plus Fields. He had 39% snaps. Yeah. Like I said, it was a four-headed monster, just like I predicted. Let's look at the snaps breakdown. 7 targets, 6 receptions though. So he got the opportunities that we like though. That's important. Just like Derrick Henry, right? Derrick Henry, Tajay Spears, let's bring that up here too. That was a 50-50 split with the snaps. I don't know why I can never find this. I'm just stupid. So we got our snap count from, so Tajay Spears, 34 snaps, Derrick Henry, 30. Now, dude, usually almost all the time when you see that, like, it's alarming, but we know, like, there's always exceptions. Derrick Henry's the exception. He got all the real snaps. He got all the important touches, and he did some. Tajay Spears barely even touched the ball. Like, what is it? 1 reception, three rush attempts. That's nothing. He had 4 possessions. Had the ball in his hands 4 times. Chicago Bears. Where's the Bears at? I mean, just to fully. I mean, we already went over this a million times, but just to get it out. Roshan Johnson, 29 snaps. Khalil Herbert, 27. Deontay Foreman, 21. You know, I'm just being honest. I just don't see, this is not going to be, it's not going to be one workhorse running back. It never is. It just never is. It won't be. But good news is they run the ball all the time. So it's like the opposite of the Bills, right? You have James Cook, but Roshan Johnson could easily outscore James Cook because it's Josh Allen all day, every day there. And for the Bears, it's running the ball all day, every day, or even throwing the ball all day, every day. But I see Roshan Johnson just keep beating him out, man. He was beating him out in practice, beating him out week 1, and it'll just continue. So that's good, man. I 29 snaps to 27 is very promising for a rookie. Thoughts on Alexander Mattison after this game? Mattison was doing very bad in the beginning, and then he got a little bit better towards the end of the game. What's his fantasy points? 4.9. He actually saved the day, so it looks like he had less than 1 fantasy point in the first half, and then he got like 4.5 fantasy points the second half. Just like we're talking, guys, we're talking about the Bears, we're talking about the Bills. Well, guess what? The Vikings don't have Dalvin Cook. It's Kirk Cousins throwing passing yards the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, right? It's Kirk Cousins throwing the ball on first down, second down, and third down. And in games where they're behind, on fourth down. All right. So it's Kirk. That's why I like TJ Hawkinson so much. And look, this man is supporting 4 receivers out here. Kirk Cousins is making it happen. TJ Hawkinson, he did very well. Justin Jefferson, he did very well. Jordan Addison in for the touchdown. KJ Osborne in for the touchdown. This man supporting 4 receivers. We're looking at a passing team all day, every day. Another thing I liked with TJ Hawkinson and, in general, talking about this offense is Kirk Cousins does not run the ball. He doesn't get a lot of rushing yards. So he's going to be throwing it to our guys who are catching the ball. Mattison, 6 targets. I mean, this is it. This is all you got from Mattison. This is all you're hoping for, which is kind of the same with Roschon Johnson. You're hoping for receptions, targets and receptions, and touchdowns. Mattison is not going to score any fantasy points any other way. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at a picture of Alexander Mattison. That is not a picture of Derrick Henry. So there's only 2 ways this guy's going to give you fantasy points: catching the ball and scoring lucky touchdowns. Guess what? Last week, he scored a receiving touchdown. Like, I just don't smell a lot of rushing touchdowns for this guy. I mean, the only way he's going to do it is punching it in on the goal line. Like, he's just, it's not Derrick Henry. It's just, he's not. And he's not as good as Dalvin Cook. It is what it is. And the Vikings they're not, I don't seem to have a lead all the time. They're going to just be in these shootouts. Who's worse, Treylon or London? Drake London's very talented, but I mean, this is more about their quarterback situation and the game plan. And, the Falcons, they run the ball and work. So right now, if you asked me, who would I rather have on my fantasy team, Treylon or Drake London? This week, I'd rather have Treylon because Hopkins could be out. But remainder of the year, I guess I'd rather have Drake London. This is kind of a question that stumped me now. That's tough, right? Because we have kind of 2 quarterbacks who can't throw or don't throw in their own way. Not exactly the same, but we have a situation that's they don't have Kirk Cousins throwing them the ball, right? They have Tannehill and Desmond Ridder. And Drake London's just been much more proven, but Treylon Burks still has. He's a little mysterious. We don't know, but I still think he still could be good. Like, the jury's still out on Treylon Burks. I've been a huge Treylon Burks fan, but we'll see if he's a bust or not. Didn't have a good year 1. Full PPR, Gibbs or for Addison and Kamara. Just keep Gibbs, my friend. That's what I would do. You don't need all those players and headaches. What's up, Warrior? If Christian Watson and Nacua are not a go, so Christian Watson is likely going to be out. Puka Nacua, there's a good chance he will play. Just to let you know, if they're out, would you pick up and play Zay Jones versus KC, Atwell versus 49ers, or Shaheed versus Panthers? I would go with Zay Jones, I think, because I don't fully trust Tutu Atwell yet. Yeah, you're right, Travis. You're right. Which RBs could I trade, London or Olave for? I lost Dobbins. Well, Drake London, you're going to get nothing for him. But this guy just got Khalil Herbert. You're a Bears fan, right? You can do it. So if you can trade Drake London for Roschon Johnson or Khalil Herbert, do it. Do it now. Chris Olave, you might have to wait for him to have an even better game. I don't think he did. He just did okay, right? I might be mistaken. No, he did pretty well. Sorry about that. Mistaken. 19.2 fantasy points week 1. So you can get something really good for Olave. I think Derrick Henry might be, you probably want to get better than Derrick Henry. So Tony Pollard probably can't get him. I think you can get Derrick Henry easily for Olave. You can easily get Mixon. I mean, try to do better than that. Who can you get? If you can trade him and something for Nick Chubb, do it. Go get Nick Chubb. Maybe Olave for Eckler now that he's hurt. That would be crazy. Zay Jones or Nico Collins. Let's go with Nico Collins. You're welcome. I got Roshan off waivers. Well, there you go, man. So I don't know what you're going to get for Drake London. I mean, I guess you could trade him. Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. You know, I love Roshan Johnson. This might be the last question here. J-Dog, would you package Garrett Wilson for Cup in a 2-for-2? I would not. No, I'd rather get because Garrett Wilson's going to get me fantasy points. If you trade for a Cup, you could be out of the playoffs essentially before Cup starts giving you fantasy points. So I always want a fighting chance. So Garrett Wilson gives me a fighting chance. I mean, unfortunately, he doesn't have that upside if he did with a real quarterback. Hey, maybe they sign somebody. You never know. Maybe Zach Wilson plays much better than we think, even though that's unlikely. We don't know, but still, it just comes down to, I know Cooper Kupp's not giving me any fantasy points for 4 weeks, with a good chance that he's going to give me 0 fantasy points for multiple weeks after that, whether he gets re-injured or he comes back week 5 or 6. You never know. I'm taking my points with at least a talented wide receiver in Garrett Wilson, who I can, at least he's startable. I'm starting him. I have somewhat confidence in him. He's giving me fantasy points. So, no, I wouldn't go out of my way to go get Cooper Kupp. You're welcome, J-Dog. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the Fantasy Couch Podcast. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the Fantasy Couch Podcast on Apple, Spotify, the whole shebang, on YouTube as well. It's our second YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to our primary YouTube channel, Fantasy Couch. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. See you guys on the next one. I'm going live tomorrow to do news and AMA. Every Friday we do that at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So see you on the main channel.